and give him candy.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is go ahead and go, and what you want to do is give them candy. And you see how there's all that glucose? Okay, so let's give them 2 doses, of the rapid acting. And when you see the timer on the top left gets to 20, stop the model. Okay, great. So what are some of the numbers you're seeing? What's the glucose level?
Glucose level is at 183.
Okay, go ahead and jot that down. Some paper. And then how about ATP?
Is at 46.
Yeah.
So there's energy being produced.
Yeah. But that level of glucose, you would usually try to have a patient with type 1 diabetes keep their glucose below 180 after eating. So knowing that, you gave them 2 doses of Lispro, the rapid-acting insulin. How many would you give? Would you still stick with 2 or?
I'd probably give them 3.
3.
Maybe 4.
Let's try it out now. Instead of candy, let's do the same thing but with milk. Okay, so go ahead and set it up. We'll do type 1 diabetes as the patient's health. And then milk is what they're going to end up doing. So go ahead and start it. And then we'll do 2 doses.
Of milk?
No, the rapid acting. We'll give it 20 seconds and see where that ends up. Alright, so what are the glucose and ATP levels?
So the ATP is 16 and the glucose is 108, which is significantly lower than the candy.
Right, because the first candy that we tried was 183, and so 108 is definitely lower. And that's a good number to be at. Do you think this is about the right amount of insulin to give this patient? This is the good glucose amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would certainly work with it. Okay, now let's try a different behavior. Instead of having milk, let's have them do exercise. So go ahead and set it up again. We'll go and then have them exercise. And then give them 2 doses of that rapid acting. Let's see what happens at time 20.
The blood change.
Yeah, so that's how the model shows that exercise is happening.
There's lots of these.
Yeah.
Oh, let it go on. The glucose is really low.
Yeah.
It's at 64.
Yeah, anything like getting down less than 70, some people might even say 80, is a little bit concerning. That would be like hypoglycemia.
Do they have to take insulin before they exercise? Do they have to take insulin before they exercise?
Well, do you think that's a good idea since they ended up with hypoglycemia?
No, because that's going to help them burn even more, create even more energy. So maybe if we don't give it to them, it will stay high.
Okay.
So I'm observing there's no ATP being produced, but the glucose is also staying at a higher level.
Yeah, and so that'll be a little bit of a problem because when you're exercising, your body needs more ATP because it's using all that extra energy and the cells are working harder. So right now, it's not able to access the energy without some insulin in there. So
maybe we can have them eat and have insulin and exercise.
Okay, so why don't you try deciding what sorts of decisions that this patient should make, which would involve exercise first, and then what other things you would do. And a good range would be glucose between 70 and 140. So do what you think would help them to stay between 70 and 140 on glucose. This time you don't need to stop it at 20, but just let it run and try to keep them at a healthy glucose range. So start them with exercise.
Oh, sorry. I just had me lost it. We'll start over. Okay, so you're having to pass the sugar.
And then go ahead and get them a little bit of insulin.
Okay, here it goes. So now they're gonna get some ATP.
Okay, but look at the glucose level. So ATP is definitely getting used, but those glucose levels are getting low. So what would you do to add glucose into their system?
Eat a piece of candy.
Sure. Okay, so now the glucose is up.
And it's still burning a lot of energy.
Yeah, because red blood, the really dark red blood, they're still exercising. So you see how those ATP numbers have gotten pretty high? They're like well over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But now their GLUT4 gates aren't opening, so what do you need to keep your GLUT4 gates open?
Add some more insulin. Another, yeah, because there's no ATP.
Yeah, that'll be really bad. If you're exercising and you're requiring more energy, but now energy is being generated for use.
Is that the end of the video?
Okay. If you want, you can replay it or go forward. You have a question to discuss, and then you're done. Just check.
So healthy muscle cells versus type 1 diabetes. So in a healthy muscle cell, they are able to produce insulin on their own, and that can open up the gates to allow the sugars in and produce ATP, whereas a unhealthy or a type 1 diabetic patient does not produce the insulin on their own, so they require insulin to open the glucose channels, allow the glucose to go in and change into energy.
Eating candy and, like you said, surgery and stressful situations. Something else.
All over the ones I forgot of.
Yeah.
And then behaviors that might cause hypoglycemia would be not eating, not getting or getting too much insulin, exercising without glucose or exercising without food and insulin.
You have to determine how much insulin they get by like how much activity and what their day is going to be like, pretty much.
And then how much energy they burn. What physical activity in patients with type 1 diabetes might lead to hypoglycemia, and how might it prevent it. Exercise, walking,
Anything in general.
not eating. Ready? Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty much what we do.
Yeah, I think I never really considered ATP as part of
Yeah.
the insulin process. Like I never really even thought about it. I was like, well, insulin is insulin.
Yeah.
But you need ATP.
I never thought of it as like, I mean, they always say that insulin is the key, but like in that video, we like actually like opened it and let the glucose in. I never thought of it that way.
So, yeah, that was a good. I like that. I also didn't realize that if you didn't have insulin, that you couldn't make energy.
Yeah, or
that